Hello everybody, I have decided that I want to do a lot of Pokemon TCG stuff right now, and especially as the hobby is growing for a lot of people, and especially as frustration is growing for a lot of people, I want to focus on a different side of the hobby rather than the monetary value of cards or flipping product, all of that kind of stuff. I want to delve a little deep into ripping cards for enjoyment and the art of the cards, and even like searching for some product because it's really fun and all of that kind of stuff. But I wanted to start off this channel kind of again with a what is in my Pokemon card collection. A little background information is that I've been collecting Pokemon cards since the Black and White era, so some of these cards are from like my childhood collection. A lot of the specifically Black and White cards I do not have, but a lot of the X and Y era cards I do have. So let's just get into this. This is my main binder, my personal collection binder. It is a Vault X 9-pocket zip binder. I actually got this a week or two ago. I decided it was finally time to upgrade, especially since I got back into binder building. I've always been kind of a completionist kind of guy, and I have a lot of different binders for different things, but I realized that like I really want a personal collection, like something to show my journey of collecting rather than trying to 100% everything. So I broke up a couple of my like completionist binders for this one, and it's honestly like one of the best feelings being able to see this binder in its completion. So let's talk about it. We've got a couple cards from my childhood. We have actually something that is not in very good condition at all, very damaged. A hollow Lapras from Fossil, Japanese. One of my friends, when we were younger in like elementary school, collected Pokemon cards, and this kind of when we stopped talking, he knew I was still into Pokemon cards and he wasn't so much, so he did end up giving me one, like a good chunk of his collection, and this was in it from his childhood, and I thought that was really special. We have a couple of cards up here that I just really like the art of. We got Totodile and Golduck from the e-reader era. We have an Empoleon level X that I really enjoy. One of my favorite Pokemon is Piplup, so I had to pick this one up. And then we have a really cool water energy I bought at a convention. I thought it was cool because in the holo pattern it has like Pokeballs and water. I hadn't seen this card until I bought it, so something that I pulled recently that a lot of people are chasing, I know, is the Bubble Mew EX from Paldean Fates. I got this card for Christmas. I ended up pulling it in a shiny Quaxley box, and it's in very good condition. I think the centering is just a little bit off bottom heavy, but I don't see really anything else wrong with this card except maybe the top and bottom corner being slightly raised. But Mew is in another one of my top Pokemon. Shiny Mew was like my Pokemon for a very long time, so it was very special to pull, and obviously a lot of people are after it, so the fact that I have it is really cool. I have this Fracture, one of my favorite illustration rares, with just the water flowing and the little Axew in the back. I think it is adorable. And then we have a Ledian and Lumineon. The Ledian illustration rare I got because I love fireflies, they're so cute. And this is such a cute card in the glowing. This Lumineon I did just pick up. I really want both of the Lumineons, and this one has the circle circle texture, a lot like the Bubble Mew. I just think this card is beautiful. I picked it up at a convention. and it's perfect for my water page. I haven't made like a 9 favorite water adjacent cards to put up here yet, but I kind of like slowly buying them and just putting what my favorites are up here and then putting everything else in different spots of the binder and stuff like that. And then we're gonna get into some of those childhood cards that I was talking about. I really loved these Ancient Power cards. I'm not sure what they're called. I always called them like 3/4 cards. One of my favorite is the Electros and this Gyarados up here. But I have a couple hollows. We have the Fearow hollow, and then of course this Gyarados is hollow from Ancient Origins, maybe? That sounds right. And then we also have this, something I also liked collecting were the World Champion decks, and I have this Bunnelby from 2015. Thought was super neat. We also have a Meowth gold border promo, I think it was, from Jungle. I did used to have a page for like all of my before XY era cards, but I've broken them up into different things, and I've just kept this Meowth in here. And then we get to our official XY spread. We've got a XY promo Pikachu with a Sylveon and Chess pin that I adore so much because they're having a little picnic and the Sylveon, so cute. And then a theme I like to do throughout this binder is like a Pikachu with the surrounded by the gimmick of that era. So obviously we had the EXs. We have some promos up here, and then some normal EXs. We got a Sharpedo, a Pokemon I really like, and we got a Yveltal. I have 2 Xerneas EXs purely because this one was from my childhood collection. As I said, I liked to collect those champion cards. This one's 2014. And I really liked this card. I think I used it in a couple decks when I was younger. Just to like play on the playground. And then we have the actual Xerneas that I acquired recently because I thought it would be cool to have the normal one to match. And then up here we have some full arts, some textured full arts from the XY era that I adore. Megas were my favorite kind of cards to collect. Some of my favorite Pokemon back then like included Mega Lucario and Mega Ampharos. We have a shiny Mega Gardevoir, which I adore now because it is shiny. And then we have some promo starters from XY and some more shiny Pokemon. We have shiny Azurill, which was Azumarill. Sorry, that was and is still one of my favorite cards in the TCG, just because of the dual typing. I thought that was so cool as a kid. And of course we have a water Pokemon. And then Garvantula, another dual type shiny. And then we have a random break card in here because that was a part of the XY era. And I didn't really collect a lot of them, but I do have this Chestnut for our XY spread. And then we get into Sun and Moon, which is honestly really disappointing for me personally, just because Sun and Moon is my favorite generation ever. It was the first generation I actually played the games in. I was collecting Pokemon cards for many years before I ever learned that there were games or really cared that there were games. And TCG is still my main way of enjoying Pokemon. The games are just a cute little side thing. But we have some GXs from Crimson Invasion. And then we've got, oh, I need to use my other hand. We have a Silvally GX. I'm in love with the art on this card. And the Gladion. Just the character and like story cards around this time are obviously my favorite because Sun and Moon is my favorite generation. And then we also have a gold Steel Energy that I ended up pulling during that era from Sun and Moon. And then something I picked up recently was this Volcanion Prism card. I do, and I put it on this empty page because I do want to collect the Prism cards. I think they're so cool. Something you'll quickly find out about me in this video and in this channel is that I love normal Pokemon cards, like just a box with art and plain color with text. Love normal Pokemon cards that have just something special about them. So like these 3/4 cards that are the same thing but slightly extended, or these shiny cards that had 2 types and they were obviously shiny in the artwork, and these prism cards that have just a little prism cut out for the holo, and the holo extends to the borders. These are some of my favorite cards ever. Sometimes even they beat like the current illustration rares and full arts of generations. I love them. They're just normal Pokemon cards and they feel just a little bit more special. And then we get into the Sword and Shield era, which was probably the height of my collecting, just because I was a little older and was doing more stuff, and especially because every card I got from the Sword and Shield era, I definitely have now. When it comes to X and Y, there are a lot of cards I know I am missing that I used to have. And Sun and Moon, I don't think so as much, but there's definitely some cards still. But Sword and Shield and beyond, I definitely have all of these cards that I pulled, and even some cards that I've traded for or bought. As I started going to a lot more conventions and stuff like that. But let's get started here. We do have a Pikachu. I really want to replace this with the promo Pikachu or the Crown Zenith Pikachu, but I have not looked into buying one. So I did pull the Pikachu, oh wow, the Pikachu VMAX from Vivid Voltage. Around the time it was very cool because the Rainbow Rare version of this Pikachu was like the grail Pokemon card everyone was looking for. And I didn't particularly care, but I think I opened a bunch of celebrations, one of my favorite sets, and in the like collection boxes, I think there would be like sometimes a pack of Vivid Voltage and maybe Darkness Ablaze. And so I pulled this out of the Celebrations collection with a single pack and thought that was really cool. We've got some Vs. I like to keep the Vs, or like the gimmicks, because I obviously get a lot of them that I trade away or don't have in the binder just because I don't want it to be like 4 pages of V cards. I try to keep it to the Pokemon I used in my team, and I don't quite have all of them. This is like a recent development, so I want to go back and get some of my team Pokemon, but I did have Double and Berserker and Appleton. Whimsicott was another favorite Pokemon around that time, and I do love all the fossils. Garchomp is in my top 10 currently, and then we have Glaceon and Lumineon. We've got a Chandelure VMAX from Fusion Strike. And then something I picked up recently, I don't think I realized, or I think at the time Sword and Shield was like meta. These cards were probably very expensive, but I guess looking back, I didn't really realize we had art cards like this that weren't like the Dragonite or the Genesect or the Gengar that were like super expensive. This Skuntank I got from a trade night, and it's just so cute. They have little babies and they're feeding them, and it's just adorable. I love these art cards. Love. We have some Rainbow Rares. I wasn't a huge fan of them, but they were there. This Alchemy I do like a lot just because it's from Shining Fates, and I opened so much Shining Fates for the shinies. And then we have some V-Stars, again, Whimsicott and Dialga that I pulled. And honestly, Origin Form Dialga has been growing on me in recent. We have an emptier spread, leaving room for more to come. Again, with kind of like the Prism cards, I've kept this page empty because I would like to get all the amazing rares. They're fairly cheap cards. I really like, as we've been over the normal cards with the gimmick, they are textured. I think these are some of the first like normal cards that were textured, and even the energies are sparkly and textured, and I just think that is so cool. Jirachi is my favorite legendary mythical, so I had to have this one. And then I think I pulled these two to get their Shining Fates, and this was honestly probably another Celebrations Vivid Voltage pull. And we've got some trainers over here, both from Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, just because I don't really collect a lot of trainers. So I've got Raihan, which is Korean. I got this out of a Korean pack of Evolving Skies that I bought probably with like my last couple dollars at a convention, just because I thought it was pretty cool that you could get a pack in a different language for like $2. And I ended up getting that Raihan, which I actually love. It was one of my chase cards in English, and obviously I never got that, but to have it in some way is awesome. Got Bird Keeper from Shining Fates. I did have the other trainers from Shining Fates. I do think I've traded them though. But we do also have a Nimona from Paldean Fates that I pulled from the same lot that the Bubble Mew came in. And then I recently traded for this Jock card just because I do actually love Jock very much. And then we have a Paldean Student. I think I picked this one up for $1. I do really like the art, and it's from Paldean Fates, so why not? And then next page, we've got a collection I'm super excited about, and it is almost every Radiant Pokemon card from the Sword and Shield era. I wish the light would do them any justice, but we've got... we have everyone in set order, except we are missing Eevee, Greninja, and Go Charizard. I do have this Charizard though, which in my opinion is so much cleaner, and like the art is so much better, but I think this one's the cheaper one still, which I could not tell you why, to be honest. And then that one's from Crown Zenith. Notably, we have the Jirachi, which is my favorite mythical. Has to be in my top 10 Pokemon. I feel like I say that a lot, but maybe one day we'll get my top 10 Pokemon sorted out on the channel. We have Go Blastoise and Venusaur. I did not open any Pokemon Go, so these were just some pickups. I've definitely pulled a good majority of these, like Sneasler and Gardevoir, Alakazam, Steelix, Serena, probably Hawlucha. But I did also buy a lot of these, like Eternatus, Charjabug, Heatran, obviously the Go ones, and Charizard, most likely. I didn't open any Crown Zenith either. But yeah, I am looking to finish this soon, just because I am so close, and I've left spots for them. The Radiant Pokemon are some of my favorite renditions of Shinies, besides the little dual type cards, which I feel like is a hot take because we've had so many renditions of Shinies throughout the TCG era, and the Radiant Pokemon are not talked about nearly enough, and they're only about like $2 or $3 a card, besides maybe the Charizard. But I am absolutely in love with them. The holo pattern is beautiful, and it does the same texture that I love about the Amazing Rare cards. It's just some of my favorite shiny cards in general. Next couple pages are very special. We have a lot of trainer gallery cards. I collected like exclusively trainer gallery cards for a long time during the Sword and Shield era, because it was my favorite thing to happen during the Sword and Shield era. I remember when, what was it, V-Star Universe came out, and we were like, oh my gosh, are we even gonna get these cards in English? And we did, thankfully, because I was considering buying Japanese to open for like the first time for these cards, because they were just so beautiful. And I did have a collection goal of collecting, like 100%ing the trainer gallery cards, which is one of the binders I have broken up for this personal collection. And I still love that idea, especially because the that is achievable. The trainer gallery has not gone up in price at all, basically. They're still pretty cheap to buy, but it's not one of my priorities at the moment. So I'm going to keep them here in my personal collection before I get a binder for them specifically. We've got this page, some nice ones. We have the Evolutions, which are my favorite. Obviously, the Vaporeon is my favorite trainer gallery card. And then we have some like N and Zekrom, and the Milo and Flapple was a huge pickup when I got it. I was in love with Milo. These Astral Radiance cards was a huge deal for me because it was almost like a new era with the Legends cards and the forms coming out. And this Parasect as well. Super, super cool to be there to open for. Then we have more. Again, that same thing with the Snorlax and Hisuian Arcanine. We have this beautiful, beautiful Milotic that I didn't even know I owned because it was in that trainer gallery binder that I didn't look at too often. But I'm in love with this card. It's a very nice contender for the front water page. And then we've got just some more. We've Gardevoir, I also didn't know I had. This Breaks In was huge. I love Serena and the XY stuff for her. I really like this Dredagon. And then I picked up this Kricketune from a trade night. One of my first ones that I started going to, actually. In love with this Kricketune. I don't have... This is the only V of the trainer gallery that I have, V or above. And Kricketune, honestly, such a cute card. This was on like my top trainer gallery when they first came out. I made a list of the ones I wanted. And then just to fill out this page a little bit, we have the 151 promo from the poster collection, I believe. So we have the promo, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. And I actually picked these up at my most recent trade night, from the new classic decks that just came out. I thought specifically the Drops in the Ocean one was so cool, especially because I collect these ocean-themed cards. But also the holo pattern. Look at the stars in it. It's so beautiful. I don't think my camera could ever do it justice, but it is absolutely beautiful. Stunning, which is why I picked up these cards. I was actually given them because the person who had them said they had like 8 million. And there was like a full page of all of them, so I just grabbed one of each of them. Very nice. Then we get into recent Scarlet and Violet era. I do have the Pikachu promo from, I think, Paldea Evolved, which has all the starters on it. Like, I want to incorporate in my Sword and Shield one with the crown, or the promo of that. I would like to have one in every era. And I love this card so much. We've got some EX cards. Meowscarada was on my team, and Clodsire was. We have a Hydrapple. I've started using it in the DLC. It was an extra from one of my orders. I really like this Clefable with the little stars, and Garchomp's still one of my favorites. And then we get over here into like the greater tiers of Pokemon cards. We have a full art Orthworm, which was actually on my team. I beat the game with a shiny Orthworm named Trolly. This card just looks so dumb that there was like a trade binder at a convention. It was like a set price, maybe like $1 or $2 per card. And every time I flipped to a page with this Orthworm on it, I giggled. It was so dumb looking. I had to pick one up. Then we also have the Eevee from the Prismatic ETB. I bought this as a single. I think it was probably around 15 sealed. And I cracked that open. Then we have some pulls that I've got, like this Vanillish from Paradox Rift. One of my new favorite artists actually is this Taiga Kayama. One of my new favorite artists, a very new artist in the TCG. I think they only have 9 cards. So I'm gonna try and collect those. They made a Rotom from Heatwave Arena, and I'll put it up on the screen. It looks absolutely beautiful. I'm so excited to get it in English. And then we have some trades here. This Magby and Tangela I was actually going to buy before this trade night, and I went and found it in 2 different binders for trade. I love this art so much. The Magby and the fire, much like the Fracture in the water. And the 2 Tangelas, like, just taking turns. I don't know, they're playing together in some way, and I'm in love with it. Some of my favorite illustration rares. And then we also have the Snorlax from the 151 ETB. I really loved this card. I was really jealous of my friend when they picked it up at a convention. It was the only one. I had to let them have it because Snorlax is in their favorites. But I finally got mine. And then I pulled this Ting Lu EX, I think SIR, from Paldea Evolved, yes. And I do like this card very much. I wish it was... I think Ting Lu has to be my least favorite, which is really unfortunate. But I do love how pretty the art is. And then we have a very lone Mr. Mime from the... this is again the classic decks, which has the Starfoil as well. I never really noticed it on this card until the other ones, but I picked this one up at the convention because it is a fan card from, I think, the Japanese vending series that we had never gotten in English until now. And I would love to collect all of the Pokemon, like, fan art cards as an artist myself. Alright, so this is the end of the personal collection of this binder. I had plans to show a couple more of my binders and talk about more Pokemon cards, but obviously this video has gotten pretty long, and with everything that I wanted to do, it'd probably at least be an hour. So I'm going to cut it here on this first binder, and honestly my most important one. And we are going to pick up maybe a part 2 of a collection video, because not only do I have Pokemon cards to show, I have all kinds of games and consoles and plushies and all of that kind of stuff to show off as well. So maybe we will come back to that after we get this started just a little bit more. But one thing I did want to mention in this video that I did not mention at all for some reason. As I'm editing this video, I realized that I never actually mentioned that my favorite Pokemon is Vaporeon. I do have a Vaporeon collection. I'm trying to get every Vaporeon ever, and this will be just a sneak peek of it before I go into detail. But I feel like that was probably one of the most important things to let everyone know as like an intro. My favorite Pokemon ever is Vaporeon. We have a couple other of my favorites in here that I will flip through really quickly. And then that is going to be it for this video. I'm so glad that I could show you guys a little bit of my collection, because my favorite Pokemon videos to watch are binder tours and collection videos and all of this kind of stuff. And I really can't wait for this to just kick off and be able to do Pokemon for fun. Can't wait to get more comfortable doing stuff like this, talking here. I'm sure you guys can tell that I am slowly getting more comfortable talking. I am usually a very, very big yapper. I just have to process what I want to say and how I want to say it. And I think I've clearly gotten a lot more comfortable from the beginning of this video to right now, 40 minutes later. So thank you guys so much for staying. It's been kind of a long one, so if you've made it this far, definitely shout out to you. And I will see you all hopefully soon. I have a video already recorded and lined up. I just have to edit it. And then I don't think it would be unreasonable to post a video or two each month for Pokemon for now. So I will see you guys when I see you. Oh, oh, hello, hello, focus. Oh my gosh. There we go.